Welcome to this tutorial video for Microsoft Word 2019 document formatting. Depending on what you want to do with the documents you create in Microsoft Word 2019, you may need to format them in a specific way. This video is designed to give you the skills you need to use Microsoft Word's basic document formatting features. Specifically, you will be able to do the following after watching this video. You'll be able to change page margins. You'll be able to change page orientation. You'll be able to change page size. You'll be able to change the alignment of your text in documents. And you'll also be able to change the line and paragraph spacing in your documents. Let's begin with changing the page margins. Changing the page margins of a document either increases or decreases the amount of white space between the edges of your typed text and the edges of your paper. Margins are measured in inches, and the larger the margins, the more white space you'll have around the edges of your document. In order to change the margins of your document, you'll begin by going up to the ribbon and clicking on the Layout tab. Once the Layout tab is visible, you'll need to go to the left side and click on the Margins button. Once you click on the Margins button, a drop-down menu will appear with several choices, and you can just simply click on the margins that you want to use. If you choose more narrow options, you'll see that there is less white space between the text and the edge of the paper. If you choose a more wide option, there's a lot more white space between the text and the edge of the paper. Most commonly, people use the normal setting, which is 1-inch margins around the entire piece of paper. Now, should these margins that are available in the drop-down menu not suit your purposes, you can go all the way down to the bottom and click Custom Margins. A pop-up window will appear, and it will allow you to choose your own customized top, left, bottom, and right margins. Once you have selected those, click OK, and Microsoft Word will apply those margins to your document. Now, let's cover how to change the page orientation. Changing the orientation of a document turns it 90 degrees. Microsoft Word has two options for page orientation, namely Portrait and Landscape. In order to change the page orientation, you'll begin by ensuring that you're on the Layout tab from the ribbon. If you're not on the Layout tab, simply click on Layout to make that tab visible. Next, you'll need to click on the Orientation button, which is located to the right of the Margins button. When you click on the Orientation button, a drop-down menu will come down with the two choices that are available, Portrait or Landscape. The default is Portrait, but should you choose Landscape, Microsoft Word will turn your page 90 degrees. Next, let's cover changing the page size. Changing the size of a document allows you to select the size of paper on which your document will be printed. The two most common sizes are letter and legal. To change the size of your document, you'll first need to ensure that you're on the Layout tab in the ribbon. If you're not, simply click on Layout to bring that tab up. Then you'll need to click on the Size button, which is located to the right of the Orientation button. A drop-down menu will appear with various choices. Simply click on the size that you'd like to use. As I stated, the most common sizes are letter, which is 8.5 by 11, and legal, which is 8.5 by 14. As you can see, There are additional choices in this drop-down menu. If you're unfamiliar with any of the names of these other sizes, measurements are also provided in inches for your reference. Next, let's cover how to align text. Microsoft Word allows you to align the text in your documents, which simply means that you can have your text line up on the left side of the page, the right side of the page, or in the center of the page. To change the alignment of your text, you'll start by clicking on the Home tab in the ribbon. Then, in the paragraph grouping, you'll simply need to click on the alignment you want to use. There's left, center, right, and justify. Justified text spreads your text out so that it goes to the edges of the margins. It's very similar to how newspapers and magazines align their text. If you would like to change the alignment of text that you've already typed, you simply need to highlight that text by clicking, holding, and dragging to highlight the text that you'd like to change. And then in the paragraph grouping, click on the alignment button you'd like to use. For example, if I'd like to center this text that I have selected, I would highlight it, click on the center button, and Microsoft Word centers that for me. Finally, let's cover changing line and paragraph spacing. In some of the documents that you create, you may need to make the text double-spaced or maybe even insert additional space between paragraphs. To change the line or the paragraph spacing, you'll begin by clicking on the Home tab, and then, in the paragraph grouping, go to the Line and Paragraph Spacing button, which looks like an arrow pointing up and down with lines to the right. By clicking on the down arrow for that button, a drop-down menu displays, and you simply need to click on the line and paragraph spacing that you would like to apply. Single-spaced is the default, and it is indicated by the 1.0. The second most commonly used spacing is double-spaced, which is indicated by the 2.0. If you have already typed text and you want to change its spacing, you simply need to select the text by clicking, holding, and dragging to select all the text that you'd like to change. Then, in the paragraph spacing, click on the spacing you'd like to use, and Microsoft Word will apply that spacing. These features in Microsoft Word 2019 allow you to format your documents so that they fit your purposes. You may have some trial and error as you try to get your documents just right, so stick with it. And maybe you even have enough confidence now to play with some of the other document features on your own. With a little practice and perseverance, you'll be a pro in no time. Thanks for watching.